All right, welcome back to episode 4 of Collect These Takes. If you're new here, welcome. This is a podcast where sports talk meets the collecting world. So imagine yourself walking into a local card shop, striking up a conversation with the first person you see. You guys start talking sports, sharing collections, debating about sports, players, and latest trends in the hobby. That's the vibe we're going for here. We're keeping it casual, open, fun for everyone, whether you're a veteran or a complete newcomer. Will we dive into deeper topics? Of course we will. But at the end of the day, this is just a laid back spot. Picture yourself on your home couch with your buddies where we can talk about sports and, of course, the hobby we love. Jordan, co-host, are you out there? How you doing?
Oh, I'm ready. Kev, big news from me.
What do we got?
So went to Target with my son. We had to buy some birthday
Okay.
gifts for some friends coming up. And I bought myself my first packs of cards.
Wow. That's actually massive breaking news.
Yep.
Breaking news.
So,
What'd you go with?
So I got the Panini NBA Hoops and the Topps Series 1 baseball. So we're going to open up the Panini Hoops right here.
NBA Hoops. I love it. That's a great starter set. All right. This is terrible podcasting too, by the way.
Yeah,
But
well,
obviously,
we'll
have to read these out loud.
Yeah, read these out loud. And one thing I want to complain about is, I because I'm new to this world, I hate how you people share your cards. The slow. It's so annoying. Why do you do that?
Suspenseful.
Just go
It's
through.
for the suspense,
Nick
dude.
Smith Jr.
Hold on. See, I can tell this is definitely your first opening. First couple of cards in the pack, I'll educate you here. Those are called base cards. NBA Hoops gives you a lot of base.
Okay.
So those aren't the important ones. We get through the base quickly, and let's see the hits.
Yeah, Nick Smith Jr., Jalen Suggs. He was good in college. He's not really good in the pros. Terrence Mann. He's a good 6-man player.
Yeah.
Jacoby Walter. He's
rookie card. Oh, these are the good ones. These are the rookies. So now you're at the rookies. All right, so let's see. So rookie. All right, Jacoby Walter.
Ja Morant. I love Ja.
Oh, wow. Okay, Ja Morant insert. That's actually that's a solid insert. Is there any numbers or anything on the back for that one or no? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I like that. That's a tribute insert card. Okay, tribute insert card. Put that one aside.
Put that one aside. Jared McCann, another 76ers
solid
player.
Rookie card.
Yeah.
Yeah, but rookie, it's a rookie. That's a rookie.
Okay, yeah, maybe he'll come. I mean, I just trust no one on the 76ers.
Okay.
All right, now here, I'm just now seeing this in real time. Larry Bird.
Nice. So that's another tribute card. All right, so it's just like the Ja Morant. So it's Larry Bird.
Number 299. I don't know what any of this means.
First pack magic. Pretty solid.
Yeah.
You gotta save that one. That's a special one. Very first pack.
All right, now we got
purple. Okay, so this is these are some of the variants. Yeah.
Okay. Cade Cunningham.
Okay, now that's the teal. That's the value pack exclusive. So it's Cade Cunningham value pack exclusive. That's your hit. So
what does that mean?
Normally, that's the hit of the card. So that's the very exclusive piece of the card, that value pack. Usually what you're trying to go for is like a rookie in that.
And then I got 2 of these sky views, one with Joel and one with Paolo.
Okay, and these are just more inserts. Okay. All right.
And then
what do you think?
So and then the last one, I got Tyler Hero.
And that's a silver hollow. Okay, all right. So a lot of cards. What's your instant reaction?
So instant reaction and a lot of questions. I know Tyler Hero's a good player, and this card feels fancy. Does anyone want this card? Does anyone care about this card?
We'll give it away on the Instagram page.
Yeah. You DM and you can have this card. DM me and you can have this card.
I say you keep the Larry Bird card and give the entire pack to someone who. All right. I think we voiced through that pack opening.
Yeah.
But I definitely don't think podcasts are the best mediums for pack openings.
No.
Noted for future episodes. But hey, if you're watching on YouTube, you get to watch it. Amazing. But you guys got to share in the experience of Jordan's first pack.
First pack. And these cards are yours if you DM us.
All right. Amazing. All right. So let's jump into some of the main topics, right? So first topic of the day, let's talk a little bit about the NFL draft and the combine and just kind of react to that. And who do we think who some of the future stars might be? Who do we think some of the upsides may be? Do we have some like NFL comparisons that we think that some comps from players? And who should collectors be looking out for based off of NFL draft and the combine that recently just happened?
Yeah, I mean, not to, do the top, everyone, knows, the top guys, the Travis Hunters, the Shador Sanders, the Cam Wards. A guy I really like who's, still obviously top 10 pick, I'm gonna butcher how you say his first name, but Teteria McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona. Big fan of
McMillan, yeah,
his.
I've heard him. Yep.
Yeah, big fan of his. He's long. He gives me that Julio Jones vibe. He's fast. Just a big body. I think he is instant offense to anyone who he goes to. It sucks for some of these wide receivers, early in the draft, besides like maybe like a Patriots, there aren't many good quarterbacks that are going to be throwing to them. But, he just seems like a guy who can just get it done. Has the body type of someone who could probably play like 10 to 12 years.
Where do the mock drafts have him going? Who do you think would pick him up?
Honestly, they think like the Raiders could get him, the Jets, the Panthers, the Saints. So
yeah, I was just gonna say like that's, but the thing is, and we'll get into free agency a little bit later. Like we don't know who the Raiders quarterback's gonna be yet, so could he land there? We don't know necessarily who the Jets quarterback's gonna be yet, so could land there, right? So could be something interesting to watch. I haven't looked up his college prices, but I think I like it. I like a good comparison. Did you say Julio Jones? I then tend to agree with that a little bit. I've been watching Ashton Genty a lot, and I've seen his card prices start to shoot up a little bit, but I think that there's a ton of cards out there that you could definitely pick up for Ashton Genty. Solid back, right? His 2024 Bowman U Chrome University and all the various different variants. Pretty cheap, like under $5 to $10. So if you want to take a flyer out on some of those, I think if you look up again his 2024 Bowman Chrome U, could be a good pickup. And I think he's a dynamic back. Like he was like, I thought he could have been a little sleeper for the Heisman Trophy, racked up a ton of yards, set a bunch of school records, and I think he could be just like that electric playmaker in the NFL, right? And if you hit on him, I think it could be, you can get it now cheap, and when come draft time, definitely get a quick flip on him.
Because I want to continue my crusade of getting the fat boys paid. Will Campbell, I know there's a lot of talk about his arms. I think he's still like, if you look at his, work over college, he's blocked for great quarterbacks. He's blocked for some, Heisman Trophy winners like Jaden Daniels. He knows how to play, left tackle in a dynamic offense. Yes, his arm length may be what it is, but, this is a guy who goes against big boys in the SEC. So, he's someone who could, probably really shore up an offensive line.
He's a T-Rex, though. What are you going to do with T-Rex arms?
I mean, he's still strong. He's strong. So, like, you come in, he's still going to push you back.
So I love your take on the O lineman collection. You're gonna have the best O lineman collection ever. When you got to rip a football pack and see some.
I gotta find some
your O lineman chases.
Yeah, I'm gonna get Will Campbell. I'm gonna get Armand Mamubo. I'm gonna get all the rookies this year.
You know what I'd actually love to see, Jordan, is you put together the top 5 O lineman cards of this year, or your top 5 O lineman Grails of all time cards.
Deal.
And we'll put that on Instagram. I love it.
Perfect. We'll do that for the next show.
And while we're on Grails, right, we can switch. We'll definitely talk a little bit more draft throughout the next couple of weeks, and as the draft approaches a little bit more. But let's switch to another segment, just a little bit about Grails, right? So in this, we're gonna each pick 2 dream collectibles. I was actually talking about this live with someone fairly recently. It's like, if you could pick any 2 of your personal dream collectibles, and it doesn't have to all be about the money, because some people will immediately be like, oh, I'll just get the 2 most expensive ones, sell them, and cash them for the money so I can get rich. Like, no. Like, say, like, money aside, like, what are your 2 like dream collectibles that you could realistically or unrealistically obtain at some point? Money aside, just personally, which ones are your favorite?
Yeah. We kind of have like talked a little about this, about, wanting one of these collectibles to be kind of that conversation starter when you walk into your home. And there's one that I really want that I don't think exists. And it's the beer cup from the November 19th, 2004 basketball game between the Pistons and the Pacers. I want the beer cup that started it all.
Malice at the Palace.
I looked really hard for it. I could not find it anywhere, but I did find a ticket from that game that's available on eBay. For
PSA authenticated.
PSA authenticated.
Okay.
It's
$4,000.
And
that's a really funny piece.
Yeah, I would have that right in the doorway when you walk into my house. So when you walk in, that's the first thing you see, and someone would just instantly, because everyone remembers where they were. I was like 16 at the time, and I remember, working and watching that on TV, not realizing that was live, and it wasn't, like a WWF death match. So I would want that as my
And
one.
it's kind of like a friend test when someone walks in
Yeah,
your house, right? So it's like if someone walks in, they recognize that, and they're like, "Is that the Malice at the Palace game?" That's an instant best friend. Like, okay,
yeah,
we're friends now.
yeah.
We're friends now. We know exactly what each other are about, and we're instant friends. Like that's really cool. Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. The other one I would do, sticking with basketball, it is a 1980-1981 Topps Larry Bird, Julius Irving, Magic Johnson rookie card.
Okay, triple rookie. I
Yeah,
like
triple
that. Yep.
rookie. Again, graded all that, $4,500. Thing that's really cool about it to me is Magic and Julius just have this instant aura of cool on them, and then Larry is just has like no aura, no suave. But he he was a gamer, he was a baller. I wasn't fortunate enough to really watch him play as I grew up, but just heard stories of him and watched the highlights. So I have tons of Larry Bird stuff around. So I would love to own that card.
Add that to the collection. I love that. Yeah, new Celtics documentary out. I have not seen it yet. We'll definitely have to talk about that in an upcoming show. But I've heard some early things that's pretty good. But it's more just playing to the Celtics fans, less national. But I think because it's on HBO, we'll definitely get some attention.
Yeah, I think Bill Simmons overestimated how many people care about the Celtics history.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so for my two Grails, number one, and it's kind of similar in line with some of yours, but it's the iconic Grail. It's the 1986 Flair Michael Jordan rookie card. It's probably the most recognizable card in the entire hobby, but I'd want it in the PSA 10 form. Now, I did say money aside, it is 700K, so probably a little out of my price range, just a little bit. But I would do the exact same thing. I would have that if I walked into some guy's house and you're a multimillionaire and you had this 15th century painting first walking in, I'd be like, okay, cool. Or if you had that Michael Jordan PSA 10 1986 Flair rookie card, as soon as I walked in, again, we'd instantly become best friends, and that'd be it. We'd be able to hit it off. We'd be able to talk about it, and I just think it's just one of the iconic Grails that I'd kill to have. Funny story about that card, actually. I got back into cards a couple of years back during the pandemic, like a lot of collectors out there. And my cousin actually sent me a picture he's like, "Oh, I'm a big collector of 90s basketball." He's like, "Do you think this is a good card?" Like almost trolling me. And it was like a pristinely wrapped in a one touch with a penny sleeve on it, wrapped again in a card saver, wrapped again in something else, right? So in like plastic, it like perfectly preserved Jordan rookie. And he's like, "Is this a good card?" Like honestly trolling me. And I'm like, "Dude, that is not only a good card, that is like the top card in the hobby." He's like, "No, I know." He's like, "I'm actually going to sell it." He ended up selling it to some random guy. And I don't even know for how much. He won't even tell me. Like, I'm still, Chucky, if you're listening to this podcast right now, I'm still angry, man, that you didn't sell that to me, because that card is something that is my Grail. And I don't care if it graded a 2 or whatever, like to actually see one in the wild that was in the family. I wish you could have sold it to me. I would have got it graded and kept it as a piece of like a work of art in my house. And the card that slipped away from me. But anyway, sometimes they get away from you. My second Grail, and actually I'm actually gonna go with a piece of memorabilia, and this is one that actually doesn't I don't think have a monetary value. It would be Tiger's Scotty Cameron putter. And who knows if he ever puts this up for sale? Probably not. But if it ever goes to like his estate sale, I can't even imagine how crazy of a price this would go for. To put it in perspective, like he sold one of his backup putters and it sold for like 400K. But this is the putter that he uses. Scotty Cameron is the putter that he used to win 15 of 16 majors. And it's like got a little perfect little impression on it where he hits the ball in the sweet spot every single time. It's iconic. It throws back. He still uses it in tournaments to this day. And yeah, it's literally quite literally probably one of the most expensive sports artifacts that exists out there. Like how many, like every football changes in championship, every baseball changes every championship, right? So like the fact that he has this piece of equipment that's been with him throughout his entire historic career is priceless. And then I got to thinking, what would I do with it if I actually got it? Like, would I mount it and keep it and preserve the value of it? Or would there be a chance I'd take it out of the bag and try to play around with it and think like he's in me, he's part of me now?
Yeah, I mean, I
like
feel like you
this
have to play. Yeah,
magic.
you have to play with it at that point, and just hope that
Yeah.
some of his magic comes out. But at the same time, if you miss like a putt, you have to instantly sell it.
The value of that is would be astronomical and insane. But all in all, some solid chases. I'd love to hear from the audience, see what some fun memorabilia are. But I think I loved your one about the Malice of the Palace.
Yeah, there was one other one I was toying with. Years ago, Pete Rose, signed a ball that said, "I'm sorry, I shot JFK," and that would have been a fun one to own because it would have confused people. Why do you have a Pete Rose ball with this? But I saw it sold, back in like 2018 for like $80. So I don't know what it's worth now that he's dead, and that's just kind of one of those weird pieces of sports memorabilia too.
I love one of those ones with the fun backstories. I think that makes like the piece more even more fun. So let's talk a little bit about NFL free agency and how that one might. I know we talked about the draft and the combine, but what do you like? What are some big moves in NFL free agency that you think could impact card values and players going into next year?
So something that probably won't impact card values, just from what I've been learning, but there's a lot of DNs on the free agency and available out there. But I think that it could affect card values in a different way, where if you look at a guy like the Bengals, Joe Burrow, the thing that kind of killed them last year was defense. But if they're able to add some of these DNs, bolster their defense, Joe Burrow's value, I have to imagine, goes up because the guy threw, like a crazy, like almost 5,000 yards last year, 40 plus touchdowns. So imagine if he had a defense, he's probably making deep playoff run. And everyone's buying the Joe Burrow train. So I'm curious to see what teams bolster their defense. And then another one that I think could really help card value is in Chicago. They just added some offensive linemen, again, the Fat Boys.
Tooney. Yeah, Tooney.
Joe Tooney. They had another trade there. And, that should help Williams there, be able to throw to some of the weapons he has. He has a new coach. So I'd be interested to see, if the quarterback situation turns around, gets a little bit stronger. I'm not sure what people are valuing Williams at, but it might be worth your buy right now.
And also too, on the Burrow thing, like they franchise tag Higgins, right? Some people are predicting that it could be like a tag and trade type of situation that's going on there. But if he gets to keep Higgins on that team, like, again, so that's my guy. Like, I think I have a big Burrow collection. I've been collecting Burrow for a long time. It was looking grim for Burrow collectors in the beginning, early of this season, especially when the Patriots of all teams beat them on their first game of the year. That was a little spooky. But then almost made a run for MVP at the end of the year, got some momentum back going, and then I think he'll be back. I think it was just a little bit of off season. He had that injury he was coming off of. Team got off to a slow start, typical Bengals fashion. But I love that. But then also, the Deebo Samuel trade over to Jaden Daniels, I think, can bump up both of them, right? Whether it be Deebo, whether it be Jaden Daniels as well. I mean, Jaden Daniels is through the roof regardless, but Deebo Samuel, a weapon, right? A lot of people are down on him. A lot of people were saying he's fat. There was like this
I saw
picture
that
floating around Radio
Fat
Row
Deebo.
back down at the Super Bowl. Yeah, Fat Deebo, right? And people are saying that's why they release him and let him go for so little, right? So, but if he gets back in shape, gets us back into it, like it could be a dangerous little combo there. So I kind of like that buy. I would take a flyer.
So the other one with that, Deebo going there, Scary Terry. I don't know how people feel about Terry McMillan, but I think he's going to have another huge year. He showed he had instant chemistry with Jaden. Might be worth a buy. So that's another one to take a look at.
Love it. And we'll be monitoring free agency closely. Our team in Boston, the Patriots, have been said that they were going to make some moves here, so we're waiting for that. But this is some big free agency week coming up. So I'm looking forward to hearing them talking about a little bit more about that next week too. So one of the bigger things that we were talking about a lot this week is Tops Now, and like, what is Tops Now? I know I was explaining it to you. I'll definitely explain it for the listeners here as well. But Tops Now has been popping up a lot lately for big events. But that triple auto of the John Cena, Travis Scott, and The Rock came out for Tops Now. What was your instant take on that? Because I know you saw that. You sent me a picture. You loved it.
Yeah, so I'm a wrestling fan, and I watched that live. I even showed my son that video. He was he just started getting into wrestling, and he was heartbroken watching John Cena turn heel, and he knows The Rock is Maui. So he said, "Why is Maui telling John Cena what to do here? And why is Maui the boss?" That picture, as soon as it's happening, I thought, this is so cool. Travis Scott just looks like leaning up against the ropes. Then to see that picture, the triple autograph, it's really cool. I know we had a little bit of a side text debate about if anyone cares about wrestling right now in the card world. And that kind of,
Oh no, they do. They
yeah,
do.
they do. And it validated, and it was awesome to see because it is Mania season, and, wrestling, one of the top stories on ESPN this week was John Cena turns heel and beats Cody Rhodes. So it was cool. It was cool that, they instantly got a card out there. And I don't know how long, you can probably educate me on this. I don't know how long the Topps partnership has been going on with the WWE, but at the Survivor Series, I'm sorry, at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, there were a lot of commercials for Topps and for different card shows they were doing and the Topps live things. So it just seems like they're going heavy in that market.
Yeah, so Topps now so the whole idea behind Topps now, and they're very smart for doing this, is because it's such a trend in the market where like uniqueness or rarity is the big topic in the hobby now. It's because like if everyone has cards, right? If everyone has the same base card, everyone has like the high print cards, like it just doesn't create this demand. But what Topps now is saying and doing is like they're creating these limited time edition cards, right? And then there's that super ultra one of one limited edition card, right? So the cards that they're selling, it'll be that famous picture of the triple auto, and it'll just be a bunch of base cards. But collectors also get the chance at that one of one triple auto that makes history. And you can only buy these cards for a day or two. So, and that's it. You can't go buy them at all after that. They release the batch, the amount of buyers that they get, and then that's it. They're gone, right? So it creates that artificial demand of those cards, and then they're gone, right? So I personally, I understand from a business perspective why they're doing it. I personally think it's a little predatory, of like FOMO, fear of missing out for people that buy now and they just get you again. I'm a little bitter because I had a similar emotion to you and your feeling for the USA Topps Now print, and what they did is they had Steph, LeBron, and KD do a triple auto right after the USA won the gold medal, like day after. And I blindly went, and me as a seasoned vet in the card market, didn't really understand it so much. But emotionally, like those are my guys. Those are my basketball players that I grew up with. I'm literally wearing the USA basketball hat now. Like I love those players. I love that team. I watched that Kobe Redeem Team doc, right? I love that stuff. So I saw that picture of that triple auto, and I'm like, whatever. So I spent a bunch of money and I bought it, and not realizing what I was getting into. And when they shipped it to me, it was just the bait, like 20, 30 base cards of that non-auto. And I'm like, wait, where are the other cards? Like, I have to print in more or whatever. So I kind of got skunked a little bit from that, but so did everybody else. It was like one of the biggest
Wait, so
print
you
runs
bought
ever.
the pack and it didn't even have that card in there?
So basically, what, from my understanding of what it was, and I was so bitter about this, I kind of like put it aside, is like they had the triple auto pack, like autograph, and there's only one of one. So I knew it was a long shot for me to even get that. But then there's the base version of that, which is just the same exact card 20 times. And I didn't realize that fact. I thought it would be like a mix, like, you just opened that pack at the beginning and there was the mix of cards. I thought it was going to be a mix of like Tatum a card. I thought it would have been a cool one to keep because he didn't get played. I thought it was going to be like individual cards. All it was is that base card, a couple of variants of that base card, some serial numbered cards, and then the triple auto. But a lot of people that bought a lot only got the same exact card 20 times, 30 times, 40 times, 50 times. And it's like, I'm just sitting on 20 of the exact same card. I just felt kind of beat a little bit.
Yeah, they oversaturated the market. Okay.
Yeah, so it's just, I'm sitting on those 20, 30 cards. If anyone wants to buy them, I'll throw them up on my eBay for sure. But I'll definitely have to keep a few of them as a keepsake. But again, like that's what Topps now is doing. And then, that one of one autographed card of those three for USA Basketball, that hasn't even appeared yet. Like no one's even pulled it or seen it. The community is still wondering where the heck it is, right? So that it will emerge eventually. But I can't imagine what that's going to go for, or what that the triple auto of The Rock, Cena, and Travis is going to go for. Yeah, crazy.
I mean, I had to imagine. So I was doing some research on, different wrestling cards, and wrestling cards, make some movement. Like there's a couple Ric Flair ones that just recently sold for over 1,000. My girl Alexa Bliss, she just had some cards sold, which, just fun story. She's married to Ryan Cabrera. Remember him?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Ryan Cabrera. So yeah, and then Charlotte Flair, the Queen. Had some high price cards, Andre the Giant cards. the Hulk Hogan. So it's cool to see wrestling cards making movements. And again, with Mania coming up, I imagine some of these values, John Cena cards, it looks like always move. So it'll be cool to see what happens at Mania. How does this story end? Heel John Cena, breaking kids' dreams.
You got to pick up some Prism WWE cards. They're hard to find, but they're the big hype in the hobby right now. They're phenomenal cards. All right. So let's get to the mailbag, some listener questions. So if you guys want to send in questions, please do. Like and follow us on social at Collect These Takes on all socials. We got two DMs this week, both on social. So I appreciate you guys reaching out. Two questions, and let's get to it as we dive into it, because I really like this question. So say, hey, Collect These Takes. Big baseball fan here. I dug up my old collection recently, and I have so many cards from the juicing 90s era. Seems like they're worthless, but any ones that I should look out for? Should I hold them? Call it a wash? Should I just keep them for myself? Any of these can I sell? Who should I be looking out for? I've heard Ken Griffey is a good one, but I really don't understand why the junk wax era, it has the rep that it does, whereas some other generations have more valuable cards. So I love that question, because that's one of the first questions that I had when I first got back into the hobby, when I dug up my baseball collection. Is like, what's going on here? Like, I have so many. I have this Jeter rookie. I have Griffey, McGuire, Sosa, Bonds, and a lot of people's first instinct, because you hear junk wax, you think it's just because it's the steroid era, but that's actually a common misconception. What it actually is that collecting and trading cards got so popular during that time, they overprinted the crap out of these cards. They printed so many of these cards, like insane amounts, thousands upon thousands of cards. And this is before the days of parallels, before serialization, meaning numbered cards. So the rarity of these cards are nothing. Like, there are thousands of Bonds and McGuire's cards out there, Sosa cards out there from that time, right? There are thousands of Ken Griffey rookie cards. But why Ken Griffey gets a little bit more praise and more value is simply for the demand. This is a market, after all, the trading card market, right? So if there is a demand, even if there's a ton of prints, they'll get a little bit more value. So what collectors do to try to increase the rarity of these cards is they'll send them off to a grading company like PSA, because if it's a perfect 10, let's say, for example, there's less of those. So it decreases that artificial supply that was created by the industry, and you have a higher rarity, and therefore the higher price. So a lot of people think it's, steroid era, people don't want that. No, people still want that. There's a big market out there for that. There's just way too many cards printed, and they're just so readily available and out there that it decreases the overall price. And that's why, there's still unsealed product out there you can buy. Like, you can buy like rookie card, big sleeve packs unopened for like $40, because they're readily available. They're there and easy to get. In short, there's just too many of them. Another question that we got that I like, and Jordan and I were talking about this fairly recently, is how do I begin collecting in 2024? Such a simple question. And like, the reality is there's no right or wrong way to begin your collection. Like, you can, if you want to dig up the old collection, I think that's the cheap and easy way to do it. Like, dig up the old collection from your childhood, go hobby hunting, see if there's any like diamonds in the rough, as I call it, from previous days, right? Like, I my mom actually kept a lot of my Pokemon cards, kept a lot of my baseball cards, not really worth much, like I just talked about. She kept a lot of just rare pieces. Like, I had this Alex Rodriguez rookie jersey card, piece of his rookie Seattle Mariners jersey card. It's not even worth that much, but I sent it to PSA, got it graded. I thought it was just a phenomenal keepsake, and I just kind of have it for fun. So one fun way to get back into it is like, dig up the old collection, jump into it, or go to a card show, see some of the people that you like, buy the people that you like, or like Jord, go into Target, see what captures your eye, buy it and rip it and have some fun, right? And again, if you don't want to spend some money, like, you can go on YouTube, watch YouTube creators open up these boxes, right? There's tons of information out there to get going. There's no shortage of information. So again, there's no right or wrong way to get started, but get started, because it's a really, really fun hobby, and I promise it's very entertaining. You'll have a blast. All right, so we talked about a lot today. Appreciate you guys all for jumping in and listening and spending a little bit of time with us. Don't forget to hit us up on social media. We're on all the socials at Collect These Takes. So it's at Collect These Takes on TikTok, Instagram. Send us a DM with any mailbag special questions that you guys might have. We'd love hearing from you guys.
And if you want these cards, DM us.
It's right.
Get these cards.
DM us for the cards. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place. Catch y'all.